come out of exec session at 7:08.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are back in session. Okay, let's look at the approval of the minutes. We have October 15th. Do we have any edits or do we have a motion to approve? Brian's got the first.
Second.
Brian's got the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Let's go to claims payable. Any questions or edits on that?
Yeah, I caught spear drug, conflict of bleeding. This is the second time I've seen it, last month and this month. Is this a monthly thing from now on, or just because they went through did something?
I don't really know if there's a specific schedule. Ryan,
Hey, Ryan?
because I randomly get those invoices. Sometimes I don't get them for 2 months. And then I'll get like one, and then I'll get all of a sudden, like this is the first time I've gotten 2 in a row.
Okay.
That bleeding.
Spear drug, township, this is the second month in a row that there's a.
They
invoice
blame
related.
Fifth Street,
Is there like a
History.
yep,
schedule or anything?
when they go out, and they're doing that.
It all depends on weather, it all depends on,
Yeah, and when they do that,
they do the whole.
that section, they just, yep.
Well, $60 is a great price.
Well, yeah, it's,
Unless I spent $300,000 on a blade and I could use that,
I bet you would love that, wouldn't you?
Yes, they will.
paid over cheaper.
Nice.
like.
Okay,
Oh, boy.
question
If I'm
answered.
in the lottery, I'll.
Yes, question answered, thank you.
Do we have a motion or any other questions?
I'll make a motion to approve claims payable.
All right, Ryan's got the motion on the first.
Second.
Nikki's got the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Public time. Well, Deb, you're it. You got anything for us?
No.
Okay, cool. We're on to public time. Full business,
Hold on,
ordinance
hold
review.
on, hold on.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I want to speak as a citizen during public time.
Cool.
I have an issue. I have gotten calls about a certain residents in this town that has had Halloween decorations up for the past 8 weeks. And we need those gone. The people that live there are sick of looking at them and they are not in the right spot. Anyway, they're out to the curb. Those need to be taken down or the code enforcement guy needs to go over there and find them.
Have you, do you know if the code enforcement people have?
I-
We
He
probably
hasn't
don't,
got
we
me
don't,
his report. 'cause
we
he
don't
just-
have a code for Halloween decorations, do we?
Yeah, but it's like
Probably
it's
the
like a
fence.
fence and it's right up to the curb.
But it's still up.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's like 8 to 10 feet tall.
okay.
And that's on Oak,
That's
right?
like sightline issue right there on the.
Yes, yes,
That's a sightline issue.
yes.
It's on the inside of his driveway, so it's not blocking the curb, the corner of what that's what you're.
No, but they got vehicles parked in that driveway.
It's on the curb.
It's not on the curb, but it is definitely not to code.
So can I just send like a letter saying according to this ordinance, whatever, because of the fence and
Is it far enough out that like, if the blade went down for us?
No, it's above the curb. Not really sure what the purpose was.
no, because they never did have that.
Well, they got, 3 vehicles in their driveway. So if you're coming from the east, you're not gonna see anybody that's going on that north-south street coming from the north.
And I agree. I agree with that, but that's also not something we can regulate. We can't
Well-
regulate whether or not people put stuff in their driveway. But yeah, we probably need to have a conversation with that citizen and make sure it's okay. Cool. Is there anything else?
Nope, that was it.
Okay. So now we have old business.
The ordinance.
The ordinance review.
I just put that in there because I figured we needed to
Oh, yeah,
discuss.
yeah, just a quick thing. The Planning and Zoning Commission, they're in the process of initiating an ordinance review process. And so if there's any of the ordinances that you guys want to review, or if there's something that needs adjustment, we're all putting ideas together before Thanksgiving. So if there's any citizens that would like to contribute to that effort, we welcome it. If you guys want to reach out to your constituents, I would welcome that. And because we're going to start combining that and updating all of our ordinances. So we said by Thanksgiving is when we want it by. Yep. Okay, cool.
And is the meeting that we have with CCOG, is that something that he'll initiate?
I believe so.
Okay, good.
I
I just
believe so.
needed to know.
Yep, I think they're driving the train from here now.
Okay.
Okay. If we haven't heard from him though, maybe just put a flag like in 2 weeks or actually let's start at Thanksgiving. Because we'll have our stuff to give to him and then we'll figure out what next steps are. Okay. So then on to new business, the planning and zoning committee, oh, I need you to make the recommendation on the 99. That's the. So we have the president of the P and Z here to make a recommendation on the 99 Moorfield replat. Ed?
As we're planning going, we approved the replat of lot nine in Moorfield. So we'd like to make a recommendation to city council to approve the replat of lot 99 Moorfield.
To track 2B, right?
Correct, to be.
Okay. So I need a motion to do that and giving us the authority to sign it.
Pay for this.
Yeah, you have to abstain from this.
So,
Make a motion to approve P and Z president's approval of Baltic lot to be.
Okay, I need a second.
I'll second that. Steve's got it.
Okay, I'll give Steve a second on that. Alderman McGreevy is abstaining from this vote, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. And so, Ed, why don't you go sign there, you need to, and then I'll sign after the meeting's over. How does that sound? Yeah. You can take that in the next room and what you got. You need it. Thank you very much. Okay. Then we have the Sioux Falls Area Humane Society contract renewal with fees. If you have looked at past agreements, you will have noticed that there is a bit of an increase year over year. And I don't know the exact number of increase. What was it, Listen?
Yeah, well, I can tell you that it went from, just the annual flat fee went from $1,421 a year to $3,816.
Okay,
They also went up for their after hours from 61 to 90 per hour plus mileage. And then, they also added now boarding, $14 per day per animal, disease prevention, $20 per animal at intake. And then any additional medical care, investigations, or seizure of an animal is charged to the city.
okay, discussion.
what, 5 p.m.
Yes.
Well, I think that $2,400 increase is a little ridiculous.
I agree.
I second that one.
It's a service that's needed. I understand that. But that is a huge increase for 1 year.
Is there any negotiating to do?
I don't know. It does say in the contract that if we don't sign a contract with them, that they will not come out. Is it something you want me to look into if there are like area, what do you call them, like rescues that do that? I don't know.
Now they all have.
Do they have stats about how many times they actually been used in the last few years?
I can tell you that they don't come out very often, and when they do come out, they rarely ever take the animal. So I think that
Well, that's true.
I think that the boarding and disease prevention is probably not gonna happen, but maybe once a year. But that when we do get calls, I think they're primarily after hours. But like I said, some months I get a report where they didn't come out at all. And some months it's once or twice. It's never like a list of, 20 times. So,
So we can do it without the flat fee.
no, that's in addition to the flat fee.
That's an additional fee.
Wow.
Yeah, it's at
So the maximum
268,
is under-
So they want us to
268%
pay,
increase.
yeah, so they want $318 just to come out a month now. So that's gonna be the new bill
Mhm.
compared to what, 100 and?
No, 318 is before they even come.
That's before they come out, plus,
No, that's your,
or during,
the 3815 divided by 12.
Yeah, that's the 318 a month,
Right, and then they're gonna add on all the other extras.
but 318 is basically a retained.
yes.
Everything else is on top of it.
Man, how do I get a deal like that?
I'd like to feel like that.
Yeah, no kidding.
We put it out of this, but.
I can reach out and find out.
That's a elevated.
That's a big increase.
I'll guarantee you they're gonna charge you more in just an hour too.
Yeah, it went up from 61 per hour to
90.
the 90 per hour for
Plus
the
nine.
after hours calls. Yeah.
That's,
Well, I can tell you my experience with the Sioux Falls Humane Society, it is not good. Because my little dog, when she was born, was attacked by a pit bull. And I called the Humane Society and they came out and said, well, she's such a nice animal. We're gonna put her on house arrest for 10 days after we dropped $350 at the emergency vet for stitches and repair.
yeah,
So,
If a homeowner gets their pet taken, so let's say something like that happens, and according to the contract, then those fees to like care for the animal and do whatever would go to the homeowner, would go to the pet owner, not us. But if it's not ever picked up, then we would be responsible for,
Do you know what the total was last year?
I can look while you
Yeah.
discuss here.
according to the sheet, it doesn't say anything for the last 2 years. But I think they're trying to recoup some money that they think they're losing or something. I just lost the microphone again.
You're on.
here, we can hear you.
I couldn't hear nobody.
I guess
Nobody was saying anything, Steve.
the question.
Oh,
would
I'm
be,
sorry.
be our alternative plan for strays. Because this is dogs and cats, I believe, is how it is. And then, I think it handles strays.
Well, I do know that if you call on a dog and they come out and they see that it has shelter and water, that's good enough. That's
Yeah.
all that needs to be provided.
That is true.
So to me, that's like, why bother calling them?
Another way to manage this is do it through ordinances. I don't know how the police respond to things like this. Or if the police responds to things like this.
No, they usually say we have to call animal control,
Okay,
which is the Sioux Falls. They're
is it
together.
the same?
I think they are, because they work with, I think that's what it says on here, that they have certain amount of officers. Maybe not.
Well, they must have got a heck of a raise in.
Do they go outside of Minnehaha County or
Yes.
outside of Sioux Falls?
So,
Yeah, I was looking
Yeah.
at the maps. It's
So,
pretty
Look
vast.
at this.
Oh, like, I mean, animal control in Sioux Falls, do they go outside of?
Well,
So I guess in August, we did have 5 calls. I'm guessing summers are a little busier. And it was canceled en route. One was home quarantine, one was owner education, one was 10-day check, and one was a report taken via phone for wildlife. So, I mean, a lot of times they're not actually the unconfined stray call on Kringen was a cancellation. Animal impounded, there was one animal impounded for a stray in September.
Was that the German Shepherd?
It doesn't tell me actually. It says it was on Second Street. That was just in September.
are those the only ones we've had all year?
No,
So when you Google, Minnehaha County Animal Control, the only thing that comes up is Sioux Falls. There is a Sioux Falls Animal Control. It is a city government office. Otherwise the Google will defer you to the Humane Society, and it says Humane Law Enforcement. Report animal cruelty goes to the Humane Society. But as far as Minnehaha Animal Control, it just defers to Sioux Falls.
I always thought that this was the subcontractor for the city of Sioux Falls.
It's not. The Humane Society is a nonprofit organization. Sioux Falls Animal
Well, the
Control
Humane
is,
Society. But I've personally seen the vehicles coming through our buildings. To get work done, to be bought new, and all that stuff.
okay.
Well, then there's some correlation there.
So there's been, so far this year, there has been 6 impounded. So more than I guess I thought, but I guess that's in almost 12 months, so.
So owner education, is that when they come out because people complain about their parking at all?
Probably.
Don't take
I
it.
think that's more, you can call police on loud dogs and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think you can call them on
Yeah.
dogs barking.
Yeah.
You just can't, like, a lot of these are like either a bite or just a stray. Well, this is a barking dog on Adam. I mean, is that, yeah, I don't know. I thought it did say,
I don't know what our option is. I hate seeing that increase, but I don't know.
I do know that some of the rescue organizations that are out there, like Almost Home, Canine Rescue. Since I live here in Baltic and we are served by the Sioux Falls Humane Society, they will not take a litter of kittens. Because the expectation is they will go to the Humane Society. Even when the Humane Society is overrun and not taking kittens. They won't, they can't take them because of whatever partnerships, companies, whatever.
Mhm.
So I do know that.
Thank you.
Hmm.
How would the council like to proceed?
Contract ends at 12/31/24. We should do some more checking on this before we agree on anything, because I think that's too much money.
I think that's great, Steve. How do you want to proceed with that?
Tracy, is there any negotiation?
I can ask.
Okay, so we can check to see if there's negotiation room. Does somebody want to call the area rescue people to see what it would look like if they supported us for strays specifically? If that seems to be
I
the
can do
biggest.
that.
Okay,
Yep. I mean, it maybe,
I don't know what we can do with dog bites. I mean, that's just, I don't know what the alternative service would be for dog bites. Unless they want to file assault as a
Well, I would. if I got
police
sick.
report.
so I can contact the police department too, or I'll contact Nick. And just ask, like, if we don't have a contract with them and we're handling all the other things, or we have another service and all we have left is dog bites or things like that, will the police department come out for something like that?
Okay.
So I'll talk to them.
Am I getting this mixed up with animal control?
Animal control is a division of the city of Sioux Falls.
Okay, so I am getting this mixed up.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Another call could be the Sioux Falls to see if they would be willing to extend their boundaries to the city of Baltic since we're so close. The reason why I say that is, Mayor Tim Hilton has talked about having collaboration efforts with all of the surrounding communities with other areas of city operations. Maybe this is something else they would consider. Okay,
Because they do put one of the city. It's like a leader of option.
would you check into those forms and then let us know? Well, is there anything else you guys want to discuss on this?
I say table it.
Yeah.
Or we just direct Lacey to give more information and then we'll move it to old business of next month. Okay, so no action taken on that. And then on to donation request for the 2025 Sioux Empire Water Festival. After reading that, I was reminded that this council had made a motion to not make donations as a city entity because we represent taxpayer dollars. However, what we could do is provide a receptacle per that vote. We could provide a receptacle in City Hall should people want to donate to this effort. And so that's where it stands today, unless you guys want to rescind the vote that we are going to make donations.
No.
No.
Okay, so what I would, based on the previous vote, what we'll do is we'll have a receptacle here that people could make donations and maybe we can have some sort of vehicle, like, I don't know, every couple of months and say, just so you know, if you want to donate to these causes, we have a receptacle in City Hall. Let's do that. And then if we need to make a wall of donations, we can do that, or however that grows. Okay, cool. And then on the SMGA Growth Summit, that event is on December tenth. I believe our finance officer, Lacey Harrington, has made that information available to us. So if you have any interest in registering, which if you would contact her directly, that would be wonderful.
Have you been to this before?
I was not able to go to this.
Well, I'm just there.
You went to the dinner, yeah.
Isn't this the same thing? No, is this different?
I think
This is.
This is their annual, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is 105%, leadership, will be a little different than years past, but it's like as we get a agenda.
Mhm. And it's open to the public, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because sometimes they are member only. So that's open to the public. So if you have any interest in that, you can talk to Justin. He seems well versed in it. And then, you can let Lacey know if you have any interest in that. And then, late fee increase, remind me of what that is.
That was just something that, Nikki had asked about, that was something that we thought maybe would prevent some of this delinquency.
Oh, you have water bills. You're
Yeah,
talking about water
sorry.
bills. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so, with the water bills, it appears that there seems to be some lag in people paying. And, so the idea, I'm not gonna put words in your mouth, Nikki, what don't you say?
Well, I just feel that some people are using the city of Baltic as their personal bank. And it's way easier to pay $10 for a late charge than to risk, then they don't have to pay their other stuff. And I think if it was a little bit more of a struggle to pay that late charge, they'd probably be a little more interested in showing up and paying on time.
And how many accounts usually end up paying late? Do you know, on a regular?
I would say at least 20,
Yeah.
25.
20 to 25 a month?
Mhm. And
So
so
are they paying late by a day? Or are they paying late by a week? Or are they just like
sometimes a
floating?
month.
Okay, so they're just constantly running a month in arrears.
Yeah, it seems like they either pay on time by the 21st, like they're supposed to, or it's in the box the morning of the 22nd, or it's a good 3-4 weeks after, and I have to kind of collect on people lately. I feel like I'm really hounding them to, hey, I need at least to know what your plan is, or can you pay at least half of it? And it's like, it would just be nice if.
We really don't want to put you in that position.
Well, we're not running a collection agency here, so.
How would you guys like to address this?
It's $10 right now.
Which is, I think, pretty cheap for
Right.
any other late fees.
Well, the
I've
base,
gotten.
the base bill is gonna run you between 90 to 100 no matter what. So,
Or do we want it to be a percent?
so it's a percent fee. It's the $10 is percent.
Make it a sliding scale.
We also want to make it manageable. We don't want Lacey to, again,
Okay, if you're increasing the amount of people who pay a minimum, increase it to 25. If you've got people that have a $200, $300 water bill, increase it to 40. If you have, go up as the amount they're not paying, which is, like you say, a percentage.
Well, I just know by looking at, say, for example, Citibank. If you're not on time, you get a $29 fee.
I thought it went to 40.
Oh, did it? Well, I've never been late, so I don't know.
I don't pay late fees on an employee.
But yeah,
Anyway,
so I mean, 30,
I don't have an issue bumping it to 25. I don't like the percentage rate because if you get under trouble times and you get so far behind, that rate just keeps going. It's like a credit card.
Yeah,
You're never gonna catch it.
that's true.
So I'd rather just up the fee to 25 for now.
Okay, 45.
I think if we start at 25, we can revisit it later. If we can't cut these in half, then I think we need to revisit this.
Sure.
We've got way too many outstanding bills.
well, and the thing is that you can put this on auto pay. We've given them every opportunity. You have bill pay with your bank, you have auto pay through us, you have auto pay through your finance of choice, your credit cards. I mean, there's Venmo you can put on auto pay. I mean, there's every vehicle out there to put this on auto pay to have it one time.
John, can you force the issue to be put on auto pay?
No,
You could
Well, there's a
provide-
fee.
could provide maybe a one-time incentive of some.
We're getting a lot of upset citizens about the fees because before, if people paid with a credit card, there was a fee, but the ACH was free. It's not that way anymore. And people are really upset about it. So I've had a lot of people actually hop off of auto pay because of the fee. Yep,
How much is the fee?
it's $1.50 for, if your bill's under $150, it's $1.50, or $1.75, it jumps to $2.50 if it's over $150. And I tried to explain to some of the people, like, when you get that, when you sign up and you get that $20 off, that pretty much covers that fee for the whole year, but I don't know if it's, I don't know, I just had another call today of somebody who doesn't want to pay online anymore. Which is hard, because it's like, that's more work for Krista and I to be handling all that money, but
Well, and then we gave them $20 off and now they're pulling themselves off it. So,
well, that's work in the system, so. Well, there never used to be that, because I've lived here and Deb's lived here long enough to know that we paid our bills by check or cash by the 21st.
and I've been trying to really tell, like, make people understand, we're not making money off your fees.
No.
That's the software that's
That's a
taking the fees.
pass-through.
We don't get this money because they think that the revenue source for us, and it's just isn't. So, and unfortunately, that's just the way things are now. You go out to eat and they charge 3.5% for, you know,
Right?
but
you know, I'd like to make a suggestion. If $25 in late fees is what's on the table, if they don't want to pay that fee, their alternative could be on auto pay. So then they could go on auto pay and then we'll waive the fee.
Mm,
But they have
I don't
to
know
stay
about
on
that.
Okay, for a minimum of how many months?
Well, I don't know. I'm just throwing out options.
So it's not an online, because that gets to be a headache, don't you?
And that's a lot of work.
I get what we're trying to accomplish here. I just need it to be said that some people are really struggling in this economy to pay their bills. And I understand that when you're paying your bills, everything's a choice. And I do think Nikki makes a very valid point that because our late fee is the smallest, when you're looking at your list of bills
Right.
and you're saying, okay, if one of this gets bumped for a month, it's gonna be the city water bill because it's only $10. And so none of what you guys are saying is wrong. I'm just saying if it's a genuine hardship, I think we need to be mindful of that. If it is repetitive abuse of using us as a bank, then I think that's okay. But I also think that we need to be mindful, and I think it needs to be acknowledged by this body that some people are struggling in this economy to pay basic needs. And so I'm not disagreeing with anything you guys are saying. I just needed it to be said.
Well, I'm sure there are people that are struggling. But I can tell you right now, if you're sitting with a brand new truck in your garage and a boat in the driveway, you better be paying that frickin' water bill.
Don't disagree with you.
And the big $500,000 and $600,000 houses, no excuse.
Well, I think that Lacey has been more than amenable that if somebody's having trouble paying their bill, she works with you.
and that's
So,
really all I ask is for communication. I hate to have to like make an uncomfortable call or force them to talk to me, but I just feel like if they would just communicate like, hey, this happened. I don't know if I have the ability to waive a late fee if it's.
that's right. So that's what I'm going with it. That's what I'm going with. If somebody's,
25, but give Lacey the flexibility to watch it.
if somebody's proactive and communicates with her and she documents, there's a proactive communication. My recommendation is we give her the ability to pay it based on an individual, but if there's no communication and they're abusing the system,
Or they're bad.
Then
then
there's a certain set of like, a certain list of the always late, which whatever, not judging, maybe they have some financial trouble, but them I would be a little less, just because it's a monthly thing. But if it is somebody one time that, hey, this happened and
the late fee is a deterrent to encourage people to pay on time. And I do agree that the $10 fee is not a deterrent.
I put a motion forward for 25 fee and Lacey ability to pay the fee. If need.
case.
Okay, so are we gonna monitor that to see what,
But I think we would have to, would you say we want to track it? So like if you have the same people constantly,
right,
like a guideline, if you're somebody who's been late multiple
I
times.
would imagine that if it's proactive communication, I mean, you know when it's proactive communication and you know when it's a habit. I mean, do we all? I mean, I don't know how else to say that.
Okay, well, this is my thing.
Mhm.
So if you were a business owner and you had 20 accounts that were so far gone, so far, and they extended, and they keep taking your product, how long would it take before you shut them off?
Well, I do think that there's a process though to,
Nobody's been shut off. There's been a shut off letter sent.
Ryan's got to shut off tomorrow, he said.
That's a purposeful shut off, so
Okay,
for some construction. But we haven't been good about making sure that people get shut off. Normally, once I get the orange sheet on the door, then they come in and pay. I have a
and
couple-
what's the timeline for that? Like 30 days, they're gonna get the fee, 60 days.
I don't
You-
know
you
if
get a
that's-
letter.
if there's even
Is there
a real
reconnect? If You're
guideline.
going to shut them off, is there a fee
Then-
to reconnect?
I don't
If
know.
not paid. within
Yes, there's a
15 days
reconnect
of
fee.
due date, late fee, 15 days.
With that being said, I do believe to give construct to Lacey, maybe something to consider would be 30 days, they get the $20 fee. 60 days, they get another $25 fee with a letter. And then at 90 days, they're cut off. So then it just puts it in the butt. Like you get 3 strikes. With, I mean.
Well,
it's
then
an
we
idea.
use this example, then you don't have to be a business owner. Everybody's got a car. So how many payments do you think it'd take before, if you didn't make a car payment before they came and got it?
Would a 3-strike rule?
I don't even think it'll take 3. Probably less than 2.
But I mean, does that give you do you feel like you need a construct like 30 days is a late fee, 60 days is the letter, and 90 days is the cutoff?
So is that with no communication? Like, or do you think, what if they call and they say, like, this is what, I'm just going by what Linda Hunnell used to do when she was here. If they called and they said, hey, I want to pay this much every other Friday till I get caught up. What I've been telling people is you could make a payment arrangement, but that has to be on top of what the current charges are that month. So I have one person paying
Mhm.
$300 a month towards this huge bill they're behind, plus that current, so they're not, going backwards anyway. And so. And so, yeah,
Well, since this is our revenue, I think that we need to take ownership for this. Either we want to use it and have it to use for future projects, or we don't.
and maybe what would help is maybe without listing, names, I can just give you guys a report every month of where we're at with.
If we have a standard policy of like, you get a phone call the first month, you get a letter the second month, and then you get a 15-day warning of a cutoff.
Mhm.
I mean, when your water gets shut off, you find money.
And with G-Works now, we did set up, we're moving to the cloud. We set up where it automatically notifies people within, after 5 days if they're late. So at least that first letter is going out automatically, but then when they're getting the personal letter from the city, hopefully that helps. Yeah, I never thought about the ones that aren't even on front desk, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think we need to sit down and come up with like an actual timeline of how it is so that everything is the same across the board.
I think when you get the letter on your door that says your water's getting shut off, it certainly gets your attention. And so if we give them, I'm just, being
What does the city of Sioux Falls do, Ryan?
Shut it off after, I don't know how many days. I don't know. It's not my department.
And maybe that's something I can do, is reach out to the other cities and see like, what's your payment structure for how long you have till cutoff and how many letters just, so I'll reach out to them. I do think there needs to be something.
Yeah, I think like Colton and Garrettson, Del Rapids and Sioux Falls.
I think if we make a construct that you follow, then you have a policy that you can fall back on. And you can say, this is what the council has decided the policy is. And then that way it's not you,
Right.
we're giving you the construct. And I think that's the important thing. Because we can't put that on her.
Yeah.
So if somebody with a big water bill who's already on a payment plan would be grandfathered into that payment plan, they wouldn't be showing up if it's not current in 90 days.
Well, like Lacey just said, right now, the only way you get honored with the payment plan is if you're making that base pay, so.
And I've been good about making sure, reminding them every month. Just a reminder, you not only owe this, you owe this plus that $300 payment.
They're working it down.
Yep, you gotta pay it to, and honestly, it's worked out okay for some of them. I had one just pay it off early, make a big payment. It was perfect, but it's just, when you don't communicate, then they think they can get away with it, and that's not good for us or them, because then they get so far behind, they can't catch up, and then we, so, yeah.
What cities do you want her to follow up with and how many cities do you want her to check?
I'll check with Fulton,
Yeah.
Del Rapids, Garrettson, what do you think?
I think that sounds good. All right. And we'll bring that to December meeting and we'll make a vote. Okay, water main looping, what you got for us?
Project is now substantially complete. Roads are reopened and as they finish paving, some minor, items for punch lists, that'll get completed hopefully this, fall, pending weather. And then the only other thing is seating restoration will be revisited in the spring, making sure that is good to go before we close that project out. And then we need approval of payout number 5 in the amount of $191,453.74.
We need a motion. Oh,
Just.
did you get verification if they have all the documentation they need?
They do not, so she said we could go ahead and vote on it, but I need to hold the payment until the payroll's in.
Okay, so we can approve it,
Gonna
sign it,
But I'm not
to you.
gonna send the check till.
And this one is for all the work completed. There is some retainage, but that one is essentially also that retainage until we get to the completion of the project, so.
I think it's important that the motion reflects that although we're approving the expense, the funds will not be released until all of the requirements are met.
Is this, road closure type stuff that's sitting all over town on streets and sidewalks and lawns? Is that a punch list item for them?
Yes.
So they'll be
that's
getting that.
one of the items that I would prefer not to be on a pinch list and just get into the prepare of ASAP.
You mean the signs that are sitting around?
Mm-hmm.
I did talk to Tim about that and he said some of the reason he left them up is to try to slow traffic so that they think, oh, there's road construction still. Cause he just was worried about people driving too fast because the road's open now. So that's what he said anyway, so.
Interesting.
My favorite topic.
Yeah.
We're just trying to help you out.
Yeah.
Let's make the
Say
motion.
it's just for you.
Oh, yeah, it's the one I need again.
So what motion is for the payment, 1,153.74.
Do you mean if I need to sign
Yeah, give it everything size.
and the funds released
It's going to be some,
after all requirements are met?
I'll shoot part of it, so that's. Anything else?
Tell Deb to us first.
Oh, boy. Okay, Ryan, you gotta repeat that from the beginning.
So,
Second.
okay, we got a second. That was a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
Okay, and then Oak and Ash, all utility work is complete on that one. Paving is anticipated to be completed yet this week. Almost all the roads have the bottom lift done between all the blocks there. And then about half of Second Street has that top lift on as well. Hoping to come back probably or Thursday or Friday with unlikely paving tomorrow with the rain. And then the same thing with that one, completed as weather permits after the paving is completed and seeding and restoration reviewed again in the spring before that one's closed out as well.
Okay,
And then temperature requirements. Permission trees through at the same time.
That's getting very, very close for that, sure. So that's glad they were able to get as much down these past 2 days. So we'll be able to get that Thursday by and then we can step all of our data done, so.
And then just need approval of payout number 5, 271, 169, 90. Both of them.
You already know what to say.
You want to do it like?
I'll make a motion to approve pay application number 5 in the amount of $271, $169.94. That was kind of a mouthful for the Oak and Ash Utility Improvement Projects as of today. And once the curb and gutter and all the preparation is completed, we will give you that check.
And then I need the authority to sign.
I can't hear you.
I need the authority to sign.
Oh, and I'm giving Deb McIsaac the authority to sign.
That's the first.
Second.
Perfect. All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Any opposed? Motion passes. I will sign.
Also swearing in this real quick, we're just waiting on a few payrolls. Those payrolls are required by DANR to release the SRF funds. So once we get those necessary payrolls to be all of our wage rate.
And that's what happened last time. We were just waiting for the paperwork, so everything's on the up and up.
And that way this people get it. So. Any questions on the street projects? and
No.
the extension?
Sophie and Justin have been doing a good job of trying to,
Get on progress. Main lift station, real quick update on that, installing permitting to work with the energy permit, and we'll get that out in here. Hopefully get contracts executed in December timeframe. So
okay,
transportation alternative grants as well. There is a presentation tomorrow for that. So I'm gonna be around and be my sidekick for that. Just quick 15-minute presentation to the selection committee. So after that, we would understand what their time period is, but then we'd understand if we were awarded grant or the sidewalk law six.
I'll try to hop on. I'll try to get to that.
I don't know if I missed this, but does everyone get to do that? Or
What do you
did we
mean?
get up to the next level for this?
There's
Presentation.
a list of communities. There's probably about 10 communities. So I mean, I'm gonna anticipate that it was selected out, so.
It's a team's call, so
Yeah.
I'm just going to the next one.
one.
We'll see.
Moving on.
We'll see. Awesome.
So that's how that's helpful.
Have you started any preliminary information about a potential water tower expansion?
Yeah, I would have passed some preliminary information, when you can get all of some studies, one thing we can look into, so we. Brought a grant last time for small communities for some of the planning aspects of that. I can work with hope we get a grant applied for some of the preliminary study. Usually thoughts between 5 and 10. Okay,
Okay,
do some studying and they get implementation of certainly forward.
okay. And then do you have any updates on, the splash park for 2025?
We have to talk about that.
Okay, cool. Let's circle up after our meeting.
Okay.
Okay,
Sounds good.
perfect. Mr. Potts, what do you got?
Not a whole lot, let's get stuff ready for winter, just some cutting edges for the old plow.
Mhm.
So I'll get those put on, going to water, everybody knows we just finished up with the lead and copper. Second phase has started, so what's going to happen, and this is just preliminary, since we have some areas that are unknown, so which means we have a water main in the ground, but I don't know what the service line is from that water main to that curb stop.
Mhm.
I have to send letters to 150 residents saying we don't know what that is. They identified theirs. And common sense would dictate it's probably the same material, but we can't say that, so I have to send out letters or do the 15th. I'm working on them right now. I'll send them out tomorrow. That side page, we have one galvanized line in our system. They'll get a different letter.
Okay.
But it's just a formality, has to be done. So this is step 2. Step 3, which I anticipate and what we've been told is within probably the next couple of years, we will have to identify what those services are, those unknowns, which is a lot of either replacing mains and doing it all, or what a lot of places are doing are potholing, hydro excavating. You dig up your curb stop with just a water hose and a vacuum. You can look at it, eyeball it, boom, you figure out what it is, you're done. So that's kind of what the next phase is. Other than the one galvanized line, that might be a high priority with galvanized and lead. The EPA doesn't want those in systems. So they'll probably keep that on a list of needing to be replaced. Not knowing the funding, how it works, if it's city gets funding to help out the resident has to pay for their own service line replacement. That's all to come. These are just the preliminary steps,
Sure.
we're just getting information. So just letting everybody in town with 150 residents. So everybody that's on the west side of Fifth Street, and I think pretty much Douglas Drive and Boulevard will get letters, Johnson and Cringham will get letters, and Moorfield and Nitro. So pretty much, other than that, everybody else is,
Taken care of.
we know what their services
So
are.
basically, Old Baltic and the Tree Straits and Johnson Crayon.
Yep.
Okay.
So they'll get the letters in probably the next day or two, so,
Perfect. Lovely.
yeah, so that's really what's going on. Well, that's, yeah, that was.
Thank you for
last
your work
month's
on that. Thank you.
Mess, and now it's another ongoing.
Perfect. Miss Lacy, what do you got for us?
We need to schedule an end of year appropriations meeting. I would like to suggest it being December 30th, 2024, unless.
And that's a
there's-
Monday. It's the last Monday of the year.
What's the date?
It's a Monday, December 30th, last day of the year. It is a very short meeting because all we have to do is adjust any funds to make sure that we have met our requirements as far as budgeting goes. And if there's any changes or move overs, that's where we do it. So it's a final appropriations of our budget.
Schedule up.
Was there anyone out of town?
Potentially.
Okay. Steve, are you around on December 30th?
I don't know. That's too far out. I can't. I don't know.
Well, let's
I-
pencil it in and see how it goes and hope for quorum.
What time?
I would like to do 6 if we can. Okay. Are you out of the country, Nikki, or are you reachable by phone?
Nope, I'll be in Virginia Beach, so.
Other than that,
I think that's, I mean, John, do you have any updates? We did do executive session for our conversation today, so everybody's been appropriately apprised.
Oh, you have it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And, well, we needed it with P and Z too.
Yeah.
So, everybody's got the updates outside of that. Is there anything else we need to know?
Not anything I can particularly think of.
Perfect.
do
Okay.
you want me to do the code enforcement update on the community relations thing? Or
Is there an update?
just that he wanted me to let everyone know that it's one of the best towns he works in. And everyone was so great and kind, and Baltic is such a nice town. So
I'm
I'm,
doing this job.
oh, see, he's definitely doing something, because I've had some visits.
Yeah.
So if he,
Family
if he likes us a lot, he's doing
For like-
wrong. Is that what's that's what's going on?
We hate them right now.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Council, do you have any announcements you need to add for tonight?
I think I've talked about enough. I don't think I'll say any more.
Well, then I think that we have reached to adjournment. Can someone make a motion?
Make a motion to adjourn at 7:56.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Good night, Baltic.
Is it just like